Okay, so I've had a number of requests to do this video in more of a real-time format, so that's what this is. I'm doing a little bit of the stock prep in Timelapse in the beginning because that's pretty self-explanatory, and it gives me a minute just to share some basics about the bench. So the top of the bench is 4 inches thick, 12 inches wide per side, with a 1.25" center mole divider. The legs are 3 inches by 6 inches thick. The tail vise is 2.5, I think, inches thick. It might be 3. I think I might have gotten a little thicker on that, by 10 inches wide actually. The runners are 3 inches by 4 inches thick, and all of my dovetails are 2.5 inches tall. So when you're preparing your stock, you want to add on your 5 inches of extra stock for your dovetails, if you choose to make them 2.5. The beauty of hand cut dovetails is you decide what you want them to be, but 2 inches, in my opinion, was a good length to go with, while not weakening them. I think once you get longer than that, they begin to become a little bit long, and depending on which side you're mortising them into, if it's a 3-inch leg, then 2 inches is about as far as I felt comfortable. 2.5 was as far as I felt comfortable without coming too close to the front edge of the bench. So I left this right here, this little scene here. So I started trying to cut these. I'm personally not a fan of the Japanese saws. I like a Western saw, but I don't have. I didn't have a sharp Western saw available when I was doing this. So tried a number of ways to cut in the 3-inch by 6-inch hard maple, and wasn't happy with it. So I just went ahead and used the table saw, which required flipping the pieces over. So here I'm cutting the the dovetails, and what I did is I cut most of the stock was the dovetail, but I wanted to pin the leg between the material it was mating to with a flat portion, so that it wasn't all dovetail. That gives it a little bit more rigidity than if you strictly had the dovetail through. So as you can see, the bench vise I have is terrible, and it allows that piece to flex while you're sawing it. And that's one of the biggest reasons you need a good workbench, so using the old terrible workbench to build the good one. So I'm using my Western style dovetail saw, the Lee Nielsen dovetail saw here, and I much prefer this saw over the Japanese saw, but it's only 2 inches to the spline, so it's not usable for these big tall tenons. Otherwise I would have done all of them with it. So just remember, when you're cutting these are your pins. You don't need the pins to be perfect. You know, you're gonna shape those to fit the. You're gonna shape the mortise fit them. So if you're underneath the property line, it's going to be good. The main thing is to put a square on them and make sure that they're 90 degrees front to back for a proper fit, because this is a mechanical joint. The idea is that you can take it apart later, so you can't have them wedged in there. So to lay these dovetails out, I did not use a dovetail jig, and I'll show you in this time lapse. I just used dimensions for mine, so I picked I believe it was an inch at the base, and then I spread them out like a 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch at the top based on the 2-inch height. And so I just used math for mine, but you could use a dovetail marking template if you wanted to, or a protractor, whatever you like. But that was my preferred method. So I laid them out as I kind of by eye. I'm a visual worker, so I don't always plan those things out or use a standard thing. I just like to kind of see what I'm looking at and go for it. Anyway, so dovetailed cross members. We've got our 4 long horizontals. And we've got our feet. So these are our legs. And you'll see I've got one done. So I'll show you what we're doing here. So this is the leg brace, the long leg brace mortise dovetail. That's going to be mortise into the top of the bench. So I didn't have any footage cutting the pins for some reason. I don't know if I lost it or if I just didn't record it, but you saw the bulk of it there anyway. I removed my centers there between the pins with if it's a big enough spot, I'll use like a Forstner bit, drill what I can out, and then I'll just finish them off by hand. But I prefer to cut my pins and mortises by hand. So as you can see, I have the crew down here helping me focus on my work. So if anybody's wondering about the mallet, it's a piece of ironwood, which is a local wood that grows in this area of upstate New York. It's extremely hard, and I don't know, I just found it funny to use it. I wanted to see if I could get through the whole Workbench build with it, which I did, which is kind of funny, so. So this is video 1. I'm going to try to do this in 3 parts. I don't have any footage of the leg vise, and I don't think I have much of the tail vise. Those were more mechanical and not something I've done before, so there was a lot of breaking in between, so I didn't record too much on those, but I'll do another video that'll continue through the process of cutting and fitting these, and then a third one probably for fit and finish on it. So but I haven't done a whole lot to it since I built it. I've just been using it as is. And so far, the only thing I would change is well, I wouldn't change it, but I think I would have done, well, I could always add it, and I think that's what I'll do, but another stretcher on the leg vise, because it does, if you have to clamp something that doesn't make it down to the tenons, to the dovetailed pins, it can force the leg out a little bit. So my wife decided to join us here. That's her sitting in front of the camera. So thanks for watching. This is helpful. I do appreciate sharing it or thumbs up. And look for the next one soon.